Celeste Ducharme from Ranch RV and Self Storage, and I'm so excited to have the privilege today to have Bill Provost here from Franklin Loan Center to share his expertise on how he's able to help you or a realtor with loans. So, Bill, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thrilled to have you here.
Yeah.
So if you could go ahead and tell our ranch family a little bit about who you are and how you got in the industry.
Yeah, cool. Again, I'm Bill. I'm with Franklin Loan Center. I've been with Franklin Loan Center for about 5.5 years now. And I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years, which is crazy to me now. Just moved down to Temecula Valley from Washington State about now 11 years ago, which is just crazy. Just love this community. It's just awesome.
Well, we're grateful to have you here and to be a business partner with you, so it's a privilege.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit here, what sets you apart for realtors or borrowers who are looking for a lender?
Yeah, so, the cool thing is there's a million lenders out there. There's a lot of good ones. One of the things that I've always tried to make sure and focus on is, it's an emotional process buying a house.
Extremely.
And trying to work with clients through that process, takes a lot of communication, a lot of transparency, and then also a lot of ability to be able to look at how to fit the pieces of the puzzle together.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of the hard things about this business is there's every single client that I work with has just an unlimited amount of different things, their income, their job, their whatever, right? I mean, there's just a million possibilities, and I mean, that's one of the things that I think fun about this job, and that really, frankly, only experience can get you better at, is to just see a ton of different scenarios.
Well, I love your passion, and I love truly your commitment to excellence. You have a staff that allows you to do what you do so well.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an important key when people, are looking for someone to work with.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have a reliable staff that is handling what needs to be handled.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, every single deal, it takes a team, and I mean a coordinated team to make it happen, right? I mean, people are blown away by how many people actually touch each of these transactions of purchase. It's everything from my individual team to underwriters and processors, and then you've got appraisers, and you've got real estate agents, movers, maybe storage, right? I mean, it's amazing. No wonder it gets emotional, right? So yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, and I had someone just ask me recently about a refinance, and so I'm going to throw it at you.
Yeah. Cool.
And she said, gosh, if I refinance, how does it affect my property taxes?
Yeah.
And I said, oh my gosh, great question. I will get the answer for you.
Yeah, it is a good question, and it's one I get asked often, right?
Okay.
I think people, you want to be careful, because don't re-trigger my taxes.
Right.
I mean, as long as you don't do anything to change the vesting, so meaning who's on title, you're completely in the clear. And a lot of times, even if you do maybe add someone to title or something like that, even that's going to be okay. But yeah, the base answer to that is there's nothing about a refinance, just the refinance itself that's going to trigger any kind of property tax reassessment.
Now, if I was doing some home improvements and I took money out, then it might be a reassessment. So is that my understanding correctly? It might be different then?
Yeah, exactly. And even then, technically, the refi itself doesn't trigger a reassessment, right? But you get that money in your hands, and then you go pull a permit from whatever jurisdiction it is,
sure.
If it's a city or county or whoever, that's when you could see something trigger a reassessment of the property.
Of course, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then wanted to ask, do you have jumbo loans available?
Yeah, it's funny. This is something that, especially lately, and with everything that's going on, a bunch of jumbo lenders really tightened up, and there's some that just aren't doing them at all, like some of the really normal, usual suspects in the jumbo lending world. So yeah, I mean, and that's really important, particularly here in Temecula Valley, especially here in Southwest Riverside County, where you've got, South Temecula has hundreds of homes in the $600,000 to $700,000 range, and lots of areas too. Murrieta, all the local cities here have a lot of properties up in that range, and you can only do a conforming loan to $510,000, right? So there's a big need for jumbo lending here in our valley, and yeah, we've got a lot of great products. It did lock up for a minute, right? As kind of the whole COVID thing started happening, I think lenders were like, whoa, we've seen huge problems before.
Right.
Like, just lock it up, but then
Yeah.
they open it back up. And that's, again, one of the great things about Franklin is they will just dive in and figure out how to fix problems and find niches and do what they gotta do.
Well, and I'm going to attribute that to you. I'm going to go back and say that Bill Provost is the one that makes the difference for diving in and making sure things get done, because it is the individual, and so I thank you for receiving
well,
that.
I appreciate that.
You know, and when to refinance.
Yeah.
You know, when's a good time, when's not.
Right. No, I mean, and it's crazy because you see, there's so much media and news and advertising and stuff about refinancing. And the crazy thing is almost everyone that has a mortgage, if they haven't refied in the last 6 months, they should probably be looking at it. The crazy thing is there's always been this metric that I've heard a million times: if I can't save at least 1%, I shouldn't refinance.
Okay.
That is not a good metric.
1%
I mean,
of what?
right. Well, and I mean,
Yeah.
look at it. So if you're at 4.5 and you can get to 3.5, or if you're at 3.5 and you can get to 2.5, like that probably makes sense.
Sure.
But there's so many more factors. I mean, there's plenty of times where refinancing for less than 1% makes really good sense. You have to know things like how long do you intend to stay in the house. You know, what the loan amount itself makes a big difference.
Right.
1% on a really small loan, not that big of a deal, right? But on a much larger loan, it can make a lot more sense. So, I mean, what we always do is, I mean, if I'm trying to help someone understand if it makes sense to refinance or not, it's a numbers game, right? So it's like, send me a mortgage statement, let me do a little research, let me get a little information from you, and then I'll build a spreadsheet that helps you understand if it makes sense or not.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Bill, thanks so much for stopping by the ranch today. We're just thrilled to have you.
Yeah.
What's the best way that someone watching today can get a hold of you?
Yes, so if you just go to the Franklin Loan Center website, so www.franklinloancenter.com /bprovost, you can find me there. That's a good spot to learn anything. You can also just go to billprovost.com, and those are a couple of spots in the world.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Or reach out to us here at the ranch. It'd be a privilege to be able to connect you. So thanks for tuning in. Have a fabulous day and stay healthy.